Welcome to Smallbrook Stadium in Ryde for another installation of Speedway Warriors Style, brought to you by speedwayportal.com. Today we have a 14 tournament here at Ryde, and we've got the Warriors taking on the Weymouth Wildcats, the Exeter Falcons and the Southampton Saints. Those three tracks are all without homes at the moment. Looking back in time, the Saints, they rode at Bannister Court in Southampton from 1928 to 1963. For the Falcons, they rode at the County Ground Stadium in Exeter, first operated in 1929, but were with regular racing from 1947 until their sad closure in 2005. For the Wildcats, they rode at the Wessex Stadium in Radipole Lane in Weymouth. They last rode at Weymouth in 1984 before moving along the south coast to Poole in 1985. For the Warriors, they started life over here at Smallbrook on the Isle of Wight in 1996 until 2013 with a short break, and we're now back with the Warriors in 2016.
This is our assistant team manager for the day, Tess.
Hiya.
So Tess won a competition out of 100 sticks of rock. She was the lucky winner. So today in the 4-team tournament, Tess Lynch, she's the assistant boss. She can't be the boss, but she's the assistant boss.
Thank you, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Welcome along to Isle of Wight Speedway this evening. Tonight's meeting sponsored by Back on Track. It's the 14 tournament, and we're here now to introduce the teams to you. We've got the bikes lined up, and we're going with Southampton first. Please welcome the Southampton riders this evening with 1 or 2 program changes you'll notice throughout the program. There are 3 changes in total that we'll briefly tell you about. We'll go through those as we go on. Please welcome in the meantime Southampton Saints riding in blue tonight. Say hi to Ben Hopwood. Ben Hopwood, ladies and gents, here we go. Say hi also to Brad Andrews. Brad Andrews stepping in tonight.
Sideways on there. Good, mate.
Next one for Southampton. Say hi to Luke Priest.
Good.
Next up, fourth rider of Southampton Saints. Say hi to Harvie Banks.
I'm coming next. The Weymouth Wildcats.
Here we go then, and a cheer from the crowd as well. Weymouth Wildcats, thank the bridge. Say hi to Weymouth Wildcats riding in white tonight. And the first little welcome, we know him, is James Cockle. The Island's very own. Number 1, the Island skipper, but not tonight. James Cockle riding for the Weymouth Wildcats. Number 2, George Piper. George Piper, make your way down. Weymouth Wildcats. George Piper. Next up, Layne Cupitt. Watch out for this one. Layne Cupitt, first time here at the Isle of Wight, and definitely one to watch out for. Layne Cupitt, and last but very much not least in the pack, Locke. Locke makes up the 4 riders for Weymouth Wildcats.
First team up are the Exeter Falcons.
Here we go then, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Exeter Falcons will be riding in yellow tonight. Say hi to Govier. Next up, Chessell. Luke Chessell, Exeter Falcons, rider number 2. Next up for Exeter, Cockle. And the 4th rider for the Exeter Falcons tonight is Tom Woolley. Say hi to Tom Woolley, ladies and gents, boys and girls, your Exeter Falcons tonight. Bring back team names from the past here tonight at Smallbrook. Who we got left, Will?
Oh, who we got left?
Who we got left?
Very own Wightlink Warriors.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make some noise for the boys. It's the Riding Warriors number 1, Mark Baseby. Number 2, Charlie Powell.
Mark, can we just have a quick shot of you? Yeah, that was a quick shot.
Number 3 is Kelsey Dugard. The Warriors are on the win tonight. And last but not least, on the Warriors side, and the ball, Benji Compton. Makes the most of the Warriors is the Warriors. Now they're about to do a practice lap while they go round and get a lap in before we start the racing.
So the riders have all been introduced around. They come onto their circuits, having their first look before we get into the serious stuff of racing tonight. Riders up to tapes end for heat number 1, sponsored by Jason Waring. In white on the inside then is Connor Locke for the Wildcats. In blue in 2 for the Saints, Ben Hopwood. In red for the Warriors is Benji Compton. And in 4 on the outside is Luke Chessell for the Falcons. In red makes a quick getaway there. Compton to the front in this one, but the red flag is up. So referee tonight, Ronnie Allan, obviously picking something up there. Unsatisfactory start, so all the four riders be pulled back for the restart of heat number 1. So good to see the names of the Saints, the Falcons and the Wildcats and the Warriors all in one meeting. Heat number 1 at the second time of asking, and the rider in red makes the jump, and he's pushed there around on the inside by the rider in blue, Hopwood. Going inside then Benji Compton along the back straight. So former Islander rider there, Hopwood, showing his liking for his circuit. He states that the Smallbrook circuit is his favourite track. Chessell and Locke at the back, getting a little bit further behind, but Compton, he's pushing hard there on Hopwood. As we see Locke just go up the inside there of Chessell on turn 3, and into the last lap we go then. Hopwood still leads from Compton. And we got Locke carrying on with Chessell there just coasting. But the first heat race win goes to the rider in blue there, Ben Hopwood. 3 points then to Ben. Second place in red, Benji Compton, 2 points for him. And third in white, Connor Locke. With the solitary point there going to Connor. And unfortunately for Luke Chessell, he's retiring, going straight back to the pits. And Ben's winning time then of heat number 1, sponsored by Jason Waring, was 70.8 seconds. Riders up to the gate, and heat number 2, sponsored by SpeedwayPortal.com. Blue, Bradley Andrews. Red, Kelsey Dugard. 3 is Tyler Govier. White is Layne Cupitt. Bit of a tapes infringement there. He's going to start 15 metres back, over by the fence, which means he's going to be on to gate number 4, which means a little shuffle around in the starting positions. And this year's clerk of the course, Kevin Shepherd, who was obviously joint manager as well when the Speedway was previously here under the Islands guys. He's now taken on this new role within the club, which is great to see. He's just walking down to the tapes to supervise the getting the meeting back underway in heat number 2. So finally we're going to get back underway then. Now those tapes have been repaired after Kelsey Dugard totally wrecking them. Speedwayportal.com, that's ourselves, sponsoring heat number 2, the rerun. Kelsey Dugard, he's way back there off of 15 metres. So coming to the front then is Layne Cupitt in this one. Taking a look at the second place rider in blue, Bradley Andrews, is Tyler Govier. Going up a little bit high. Dugard though, he's come back, he's forcing his way along the home straight there. Into third place he goes. So, and round turns 1 and 2 up to second place. He's now going to have a look for first place by the look of this one. Up wide, high and wide, round the outside he goes as well. So 15 metres back he started, straight to first place. Look at that. Kelsey Dugard then, one to watch out for in a Warriors race jacket this season by far. At the back pulling up is Tyler Govier. Obviously I would imagine he's fielding quite badly, taking his goggles off there. Coming around though for the last lap is Dugard in first place in red. In white, second place Layne Cupitt, and third place with the final point in blue, Bradley Andrews. So the win then for that rider in red. Super little ride for Kelsey Dugard in the red helmet colour for the Warriors. Scoring 3 points, moving the Warriors on to 5. Second place was the rider there in white, Layne Cupitt. 2 points for him, moving the Wildcats on to 3 points. And in third place in blue was Bradley Andrews, moving the Saints on to 4. And retiring from the race, unfortunately, rider in yellow, Tyler Govier. And the Falcons still yet to score. So winning time then for Kelsey Dugard was a massive 78.9 seconds. Heat number 3 then, we're off with Cobra's Garage Mahog, sponsoring Heat 3. Harvie Banks blue, Cockle in white and Coles in yellow. Cockle takes the lead but slides off there on turn 2 and a little bit of carnage. So heat number 3 is going to be obviously rerun. Wait for the referee's verdict from Ronnie Allan over there in the box. So very interesting first and second turn there in heat number 3. Unfortunately though, that means the rider in white, James Cockle, is disqualified from taking part in the rerun, as he was the primary cause of the stoppage. Slight difference there, looking back just 7 days ago when James won the opening meeting of the season down here at Smallbrook. So once again we up the tapes, here we go. 3 riders only. Charlie Powell in red then was excluded under the 2-minute time allowance, so he takes a 50-metre handicap. Straight away though he's passed the rider in blue, Harvie Banks, into second place, but way out front is Connor Coles in yellow. Very, very slippery and slidey out there. As we see Connor Coles there slide right out by that brand new safety fence, the air fence that's been installed here at Smallbrook to allow Speedway to take place. And this time round he gets it spot on. So into the last lap we go. Charlie Powell in red. He's getting closer and closer to race leader in yellow, Connor Coles, as Coles takes a slide off there on the third turn. So Charlie Powell again makes it 2 heat winners then from 15 metres back. Second place in blue was Harvie Banks, getting 2 points there for the Saints. The Saints now move on to 6. James Cockle, he was disqualified for falling in the first running of the heat, which means the Wildcats, they remain on 3 points. And getting up and back onto his machine there on the last turn is Connor Coles in yellow, scoring 1 point, which now gets the Exeter Falcons off the board with 1 point. So unfortunately we've got a very early end to the meeting over here at Smallbrook tonight, with the constant rain which has arrived much earlier than was expected. It wasn't expected until later on, which would have meant the meeting would have been run and done and dusted. So after heat number 3, the referee Ronnie Allan, he's decided to call the meeting, and so as no one gets injured and we can make our way home, the riders can make their way home, and also all those supporters can make their way home without getting too wet. We're in the bar after the abandonment of the 4-team tournament, which is a great shame considering all the work that's been put in by the promotion down here at the Isle of Wight. But with me we've got Kelsey Dugard. Kelsey, what does it feel like coming over to the island and riding the biggest track in the country to what you've been used to riding before at Eastbourne?
Well, it's a total different track. I mean, I've grown up on tracks that are no bigger than 300 metres, and then to go to a track that's almost double what I'm used to is just... It is hard, but luckily I've had help from Ryan and Ben Hopwood and loads of my mates that have told me and helped me out with the track.
What are your aims for yourself and obviously for the club this season?
Well, I was hoping to at least be a heat leader by the end of the year, improve my average. I'm hoping to get more than a 6.5 point average. And yeah, just enjoy my racing more than I did last year.
Do you have to work during the day at this level?
Yeah, I have a job back in Brighton. I work for another rider actually, just in a factory, just a casual job, just trying to pay the speedway off. But it is just a job, trying to get money, as I said, just to pay for speedway and all the other costs.
Do you find it hard to get time off, or is that pretty straightforward?
Nah, because my boss, he is a rider for the Kent Kings. No, he's not. I don't know who he's riding for. He does let me have time. Yeah, he is for Kent Kings. Yeah, he does let me have time off when I want. I just got to tell him like a week in advance. Okay.
When it comes to sponsors and things like that, how do you find it trying to attract sponsors?
Yeah, I mean, it is hard because my surname. My granddad is one of my biggest helps, and a guy called Les Finan who owns a company called Fine Print. My granddad's helped me out. He's given me a van, a bike, and Fine Print's helped me out with another bike. And then I've had a guy actually this week offer me a set of KW Kevlar. So everyone is everything's looking up since I've left Eastbourne. I did love it at Eastbourne and the fans were brilliant, but here it's just getting away from the family and I'm enjoying it, and a lot of pressure's been taken off me.
With getting away from the family, do you think that will make you flourish and give you more opportunities?
I hope so. I mean, last year I was at Eastbourne, same track week in, week out. I knew what the crack was, and then I've come here and I've sort of proven it. Like I went to Somerset last week and I got a 8+1, which usually last year when I went away from Eastbourne, I was scoring about 2 to 5 points. To then go and score what I was scoring at Eastbourne, it's just unreal. I'm happy to be away from Eastbourne.
Okay, I can't believe you're saying that, but still, we wish you all the best anyway this season, wearing the Warriors race jacket, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kelsey. Okay, we've got Ben Hopwood with us. Ben, former Islander, you've already stated in public on social media that this is your favourite circuit. Why?
It's big and fast, really. I spent 4 years of my career here and I enjoyed every moment of it. And to be fair, taking this meeting at short notice, it was more about coming and proving a point because my short spell with Rye House is over after the whole Eastbourne saga. So I've sort of come here to prove a point and beat as many Island riders as I can to hopefully get a team place.
Okay, so you're still without a team place. What's exactly gone on for you so far this year?
Eastbourne dropped me because Kyle Hughes got injured and they needed to make changes, and my average was too high to stay in the team with the change they'd made. So I was just a victim of the numbers, really. I understand it's never nice, nobody likes rejection, but it is what it is, really. So I signed a short deal with Rye House covering while Robert Bramford's still in Australia for his sister's wedding. I've had 2 fairly decent meetings, nothing special. And then Thatcher asked me the other day, do I want to ride in this meeting? Absolutely jumped at the opportunity.
Any club in particular you'd look to join?
Isle of Wight.
Okay, so we'll skip that one for now then. Well, apart from getting a team spot this year, yeah, what are your aims? If you were riding for a team now, what would you be looking at?
Just upping my average. I don't so much as set myself goals. I go in at the start of the year and I say I want to do this year, but I just take each day as it comes, really. I don't look too far into the future. I just go out and ride my bike as best I can, really, and see what the numbers add up to at the end.
Have you got any chance of getting to a higher level like Premier League?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been around for 10 years, but I've only ever completed 3 seasons due to injuries. I mean, a lot of people have injuries. I've broke my back 3 times, and technically I shouldn't really be riding Speedway still due to my injuries with my shoulder and my back, but it's the job I love. So yeah, I mean, my aim is definitely to make it into the Premier League and go from there, really, and just try our best.
So with the injuries you've had in the past, how are you getting on with that, fitness wise?
My fitness is fine. I mean, in the cold I have trouble with my back and my shoulder, and every now and then my shoulder will pull out, but other than that, nothing really.
Okay then, Ben, well, we wish you the best of luck, and no doubt we'll see you again sometime down here at Smallbrook this year, and good luck getting yourself a team place.
All right, thanks very much.
So we've got meeting sponsor back on track. Can you tell us a little bit about your business?
Yeah, 3-4 years ago, me and my best mate were entered into the Race XC Enduro series, and we started to have a few problems with just spares vans, and the guy that used to supply the club unfortunately got very ill and just put us in good stead to be given the chance to, just basically, how can I put it, sort of move in and go from there, which obviously over the last year now has really grown. We've got some really good trade suppliers to us with New Tech Tubeless, Lucas Oils obviously, and we're lucky enough to have like 3 members of a race team and one being actually a main Lucas Oil sponsor, so it was good for us to try and get on board here with the Island Speedway.
Have you been a fan of Speedway prior?
Yeah, I have. From the early 70s, used to go to Oxford, then started racing grass track, and then got into there wasn't really a junior side of Speedway back in the sort of late 70s, early 80s. The only facility we really had was to go to Hackney when Len Silver was obviously there. So yeah.
Okay, and the little birdie tells me you've got a little job in the pits on race night. What do you actually do in the pits?
I think my job over here at the moment in the pits is a cross between operations, pit marshal, machine examiner as well, and then obviously mechanicking for the My First Skid Speedway School, which will hopefully start, in the coming months.
What do you think of the prospects now that we've got the Speedway back up and running over here?
I actually think that Barry and Martin have done a fantastic job with it. We've got a fantastic team. They all seem to be gelling together. We've got a good background team as well. We've got Team Warrior that will also come over at the weekends, give us a hand. I just think, we are in good stead. If we can just somehow, I don't know if you can say promote more on the island when people know it's coming back, but if we could just get more people to see what we're, trying to achieve, and with the entertainment for it as well. I mean, I think it's good to have it back here with the facility that we got.
Okay, so the message is, come on Islanders, get on down here and support the Warriors while they're here.
Exactly. I think everyone should support them. A lot of people have stood behind us. The people that are with us, really do want it, and I think we can go places in it.
Okay, Andy, thank you very much for your time, and good luck with your business, and thank you for becoming a sponsor down here for the Warriors.
All right, cheers.
Okay, after the meeting, we've now got co-promoter Martin Widman. Martin, what went wrong tonight apart from the rain?
Nothing went wrong. The track was prepared well. The rain came earlier than expected and heavier than expected. And one day somebody will come up with a fantastic weather forecasting tool. But you look at 4 weather forecasts and they're all different. And I suppose we're an island. I mean, we're on an island and it has its own type of climate. So I think the referee was happy to go along until things started getting a bit tricky, and then we decided together that was it. So,
what did the referee actually say to you? We saw you walking onto the track with him.
Oh, he said, let's go and have a look at the track. I mean, he's concerned that we're new promoters. We have the final shout about whether the racing goes on or not. So he was very supportive in trying to, guide us. As soon as he walked on the track, he said, this is fine. He said, obviously visibility becomes the issue. And whilst, we were out there, the rain started coming heavier. And then, he said, let's try another one. And we did, and then it was clear that it was difficult. So I know there were riders still wanting to go, but at the end of the day, it's visibility rather than actually riding the track that's the catalyst, I suppose, for calling it off.
It was great to see all the defunct tracks' names back in lights again this evening. Do you think you'll have a chance to maybe run the meeting again later in the season?
I think we would want to. We've got some slots available. I think it's captured people's imagination. Obviously, like last week, the weather forecast put off a lot of people coming. It's just one of those things, isn't it? I think, you can always look back in hindsight and say, well, what was the risk of it? The rain coming early. Well, actually there wasn't any, and it just did. So, I don't know. It's just, once the referee's set off, it's too late to cancel him. Most riders are on the road. And I was certain that it would go ahead, but that rain actually came a lot earlier than planned.
Yeah, we weren't expecting it from the forecast we saw until after 10 tonight, which would have been ideal, obviously. Anyway, looking back to last week, cracking meeting to start things off back over here on the island. Your thoughts basically on last week's meeting, and also what made you decide to get involved with the Speedway over here?
Well, I thought last week's meeting was superb. There was some great racing, and what I enjoyed seeing was the number of children out in the stands there, enjoying on a cold night, what was a nice, good Speedway meeting. And so many parents come up and said it's good to bring kids along. They can wander around and nobody bothers them. But I think that was the key point, that we had so many good, a solid base to build on. And obviously this week it all fell apart.
So what made you decide to get involved to bring the Speedway back here after a couple of years out of the sport?
Well, I started working with a group of supporters to try and bring it back. And I was offering help in the background, but we just didn't have the commercial expertise to generate the income that we needed and to really push on and publicise it. And I kept working away, and then we met Barry. And from there on, it was clear that we had a plan. We thought we could make it work, and I think we can still make it work. And at the end of the day, this stadium is the envy of a lot of tracks, not just National League tracks, but Premier League tracks, Elite League tracks. And it's the biggest circuit in the country. And riders are just dying to get out on this track. So, I suppose that's the appeal, isn't it? But it's difficult. It's, challenges. We're on an island, different weather forecasts, etc.
With the 3 defunct teams that we had over here tonight, do you think there's any magic formula to try and get them, their own track back up and running?
No, I think they're in a tougher position than us, because obviously they've got to find land, then they've got to find the money to build a track, Whereas the great thing about this place was it was already here, and it's just a shame to let it die. But I'm working with the Long Eaton Invaders. We've got the similar problem up in the Midlands. You've got to find land, you've got to find the money, and it's doubly twice as difficult as running from somewhere that's already run Speedway. So I'm sure there's glimmers of hope for Weymouth and possibly Exeter. I'm not sure about Southampton, but I'd love to see Southampton. It's a big catchment area. Football team's good, they've got a good cricket ground, etc. So there's lots of sports. It's a bit like where I live at the moment around Leicester. We've got passionate supporters. So maybe, who knows?
Finally then, looking forward to next week. What have you got in store for everyone next week?
Well, next week we kick off the National Trophy competition against Kent at home. We've got an away meeting at Mildenhall on Sunday. Be interesting to see how the lads go at Mildenhall. Kent are going well, so as we saw last week, James Shanes will be leading from the front. So it'll be interesting, and hopefully the spectators will come out in force and support the White Warriors.
Okay, Martin, thank you very much for your time. Good luck. Thank you.